Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with a review of Incredibles 2. Yeah, I already did a review of this. It was attached to one of my other videos. I think it was the one where I talk about the onion. Check out the end of that for my review of Incredibles 2. It was running short. I added on a little preview or review of it. Big deal. Anyway, we all know movie reviewers, they're there to tell you if the movie is good or they thought the movie was good or not, or give a little information as to what it's going to be about. So you have this guy over at the New Yorker who's reviewing movies. His name is Anthony Lane, and he wrote it. I'm going to link the thing in the description there. It's called Incredibles 2 Reviewed, a sequel in the shadow of a masterwork. Okay, that's actually a pretty good title because the first Incredibles was a masterwork. It actually starts off normal. As a rule, any marriage in which one partner can willingly cry out to the other, "Trampoline me," inspires only envy and awe. In the heat of the action, that is what Mr. Incredible says to Ms. Incredible in Incredibles 2, and I'm disappointed to report that the action in question is merely the manic pursuit of a gigantic drill that is whirring through a crowded city and demolishing everything in its path, rather than a lazy afternoon in the marital boudoir. Whoops, nope, I was wrong right out of the gate. He'd rather see a sex film between the Incredibles than a superhero film. That's what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I felt, you know what, I have to do a review of a review. I have to talk about this, right? I mean, what the honest is that? The reason that Miss Incredible Helen to her friends can love, cherish, and trampoline her husband, the brawny Bob, is because she is also, praise the Lord, Elastigirl. He is strong and she is stretchy. He is no more vexed by being pummeled by rocks than he would be by stubbing his toe, and she can flatten herself into a human pancake, or, though normally waspish of waist, spread her torso into a handy parachute. In short, the perfect couple. It is 14 years, would you believe, since the first time we made our acquaintance with The Incredibles. Now, one of the things I actually liked about the first movie is she's actually bigger in the waist later in the film. If you watch her in the beginning when they're in the 60s, she's skinnier. She's obviously had kids, and I love the fact that she was drawn that way. Waspish in waist, okay, fine. Big in hips, though, and that was fine. I mean, it made sense to me. I thought it was a good addition to the art. Anyway, it begins pretty much where the previous one left off. Yes, it does. Their voices are mostly unchanged. I actually thought Craig T. Nelson still sounds a little bit old, but let's see. Sarah Vowell as their daughter, Violet, still provides a pitch of adolescent speech. Now touchy, now timid, but touched here and there with determination. See, it's normal. Okay, that's good because that's what we want. We don't want him to say, "Oh my gosh, I want to nail that teenage girl," you know, because that would be definitely creepy and kind of Tim Doyle-ish. And from here, it's pretty much normal, you know, blah, blah, blah. Last film was great. I was worried. Huda hada. It's normal family stuff until they get to the spy thing, but isn't the spy thing great? And then he continues, second time around, we get into sexual politics to match. Things are tough for the Incredibles as the story kicks off with superheroes falling from public favor. They make too much mess, apparently leaving the city with an unpopular repair bill. Was the same sort of argument not aired in Spider-Man Homecoming last year? The corollary, as Bob and Helen agree, is that one of us has to get a job. Guess who? Smarter, smaller, more rubbery, and guaranteed to cause less collateral damage. Helen is the obvious choice. She is picked by Winston DeVore, played by Bob Odenkirk, and gratingly upbeat tech magnate, and his more languid sister, Evelyn, played by Catherine Kinnear, to battle in crime no less crucial. Okay, and that's understandable, and that's in the movie, and it's pretty good, except for sexual politics. You know what? I'm sorry, but I don't see that everywhere, so I didn't. I just thought it was, and I knew people were going to say that. Oh my gosh, it's this feminist thing. It's the same fucking movie. It's the same as the first, but they can't do the same as the first, so instead of sending the dad out, they send the mom out. Anyway, Bob, in the meantime, stays home with the kids. You can predict what's going to happen, but it's fun nonetheless to witness his curve of learning. Guys, I've raised kids. It's not that damn hard. It isn't. You put them in a room. Occasionally, you toss them a burger. You change the baby 2-3 times a week. You're good. It's not that difficult. So, yeah, we know what's happening because dads are stupid. Anyway, so multifarious arts demands in parenthood by, dadhood, I guess. Indeed, that only by being as flexible as his wife could he fulfill them all. He must master afresh the delights of math. He must read supposedly soporific books to an infant who gives every sign of eternal wakefulness. Actually, babies are more likely, like they'll fall asleep in your arms, but the moment you jostle trying to put them down, that's when they go. Anyway, he must try not to implode when his grouchy daughter instructs him to go away. He must become, in short, Elastiboy. Fat chance. I swear to God, that's what it says here. Once again, link will be in the description below. This guy really, really wants to report on this wonderful and ultimate feminist movie. I'm sorry, guys, but it's just the opposite. Not the opposite of feminist. It's just the opposite of this film. What the hell are you talking about? I bet this guy, come on. He can't exactly get excited for a cartoon, right? Well, no, he wanted to see him have sex anyway. So much so that he's got a crush on Helen, on Elastigirl. Listen to this. Helen has larger troubles to contend with, namely the presence of a darksome, I swear that's the word, being called Screenslaver, whose plan is to transform upstanding citizens into staring zombies by hypnosis, and who seems, from his vocabulary, to have swallowed his regulation dose of Noam Chomsky, Jean Baudrillard, and other prophets of our alienated gloom. You don't talk, you watch talk shows, and so on and so on. Yes, the overly non-philosophical SJW types. Also on hand is a bunch of other superheroes whom Winston wants to beckon out of semi-retirement, but who lack the charm and the forthrightness of Helen, Bob, and the gang. Thus, we are introduced to figures such as Void, Screech, and the indelicate Reflux, whose party trick is to disgorge what can only be construed as lava barf. What's the deal here? Observing these dorky mutants, I wondered whether Bird, the most mischievous of Pixar's directors, has taken the opportunity both to match and mock the X-Men. Okay, I can see that, and that's pretty good, and he's not talking too sexual. He, he just kind of leaves it there. Helen's got a lot on her plate, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's okay. It's normal. Okay, maybe I'm seeing too much into this, I guess. So let's continue. Which brings us to the other event. Take your seat at any early evening screening of Incredibles 2 in the coming days. Listen carefully, and you may just hear a shifty sound as parents squirming awkwardly beside their enraptured offspring. And why, kids? Because Mommy just leaned over to Daddy and whispered, "Is it just me, or does Mrs. Incredible kind of look like Anastasia in 50 Shades of Grey? The girl in the red room with the wisps and all?" And Daddy just rested his cooling soda firmly in his lap. And, like Mr. Incredible, tried very hard to think of algebra. As for how Daddy will react later on during the scene in which Helen and the husky-voiced Evelyn unwind and simply talk woman to woman, I hate to think, but watch out for flying popcorn. This guy is jerking it to The Incredibles 2. That is, if the show after the floor is sticky, it's not the popcorn. It's not the soda. This is kind of thing. I don't know. I watched this movie and not once did I think, oh my God, I gotta get me some lead because that cartoon lady, she looks good. No. Not a happening. Oy vey. So, yeah, then it goes more off on how Helen is the undoubted star of Incredibles 2 precisely because she's forever torn between obligations of being Elastigirl and the family. Just like the dad in the last one, nobody was bringing this up because it wasn't a thing back then. Let's see. To help my family, I gotta leave it. To fix the law, I gotta break it. Summing up the super paradox of her life, to that end, she is the content of her own free will to undergo what Wile E. Coyote or Tom of Tom and Jerry suffered as constant punishment. She is painlessly pulled, thinned out, compressed, billowed, and yes, deployed as a trampoline. The things we do for love. Holy crap, Anthony Lane wants to bang Mrs. Incredible. Just saying. Yeah, weird review, by the way. This is from the New Yorker. Once again, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Guys, it's a good movie. It's a fun film. It's the first movie remade, except for Elastigirl's the one that goes out instead of Mr. Incredible, and then she gets captured. The family has to save her. Fun. Jokes are good. Enjoy. Don't enjoy it as much as Anthony Lane, who seems to have gone into a movie, who, after watching this movie, may have made his way into a movie theater bathroom just to find some sort of release. And I'm not talking in the way that everybody else in that bathroom is finding release or relief. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? What do you think? Is this review creepy? Is it eerie? Or, you know, a man's got to do what a man's got to do? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to see more. Also, this is the way we're trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping the channel out, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till, and help us keep making videos for you. Help us keep the lights on. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.